big rivals, so if you can come and support us, that would be great. So, here's my senior stage. 2006, a truly great year. George Bush was still president, the Pirates hosted the All-Star game at PNC Park, and the Killers came out with their second album, Sandstone. 2006 was also the year that I entered Shady Side Academy, and my life changed forever. Just kidding, I'm not that dramatic. But it was an influential change in my life, nonetheless. I'm not going to bother going into detail of my middle school experience, because no one cares, and I can't even remember what happened anyways, other than getting a lot of interims and embarrassing myself every February in the musical. Sometimes it pays to have a short memory, especially when you're trying to forget that you stuffed your face with chocolate sauce to kill yourself as a chubby German boy named Augustus Blue. So there's that, and then there was 2009. That was more of a mixed year. We were just beginning to realize that we elected a socialist that may or may not even be an American citizen.
Got him?
Matt Carney released the album City of Black and White, which is incredible. If you also guessed that 2009 was also the year that I came to this beautiful place, then you are correct. I was a weird kid then. Still am, really, but I was pretty darn screwy back then. At that time, I really did not have any sense of who I was and was doing anything to fit what I thought was the Shady Side mold. Looking at the other kids, I saw a lot of well-put-together people who were prepped to the max with button-downs and Sperry's. At that point, I was just wearing a collared shirt and tennis shoes, so looking at the other kids, I thought I was already a step behind. In good old Shady Side fashion, I asked my parents for the apparel to look like my classmates, and soon enough, I was looking like a true academician. However, what I didn't quite understand yet was that changing my looks would do nothing to help me actually fit in. So, like any sensible person trying to fit in at the academy, I tried to play Frisbee. So, never quite being able to master the front-hand toss or even throw a Frisbee straight led me to giving up my Frisbee career and seemingly my hope of ever having friends. What I was truly missing at the time was that there's not necessarily a Shady Side mold, and even if there was, it does not matter. What I've really come to find out about this school is that we are all incredibly diverse in many ways. And the only mold that everyone really does fit is that you are all incredibly talented. We have great athletes here, supremely talented artists, dancers, actors, and musicians. And not to mention we have some pretty bright minds at this place. This is what unites the Shady Side students. Not the way we dress, not the activities we do, but the respect that we have for each other and our talents. So, when it comes to ever fitting a mold in life, I say screw it. I feel like some sort of rebel hipster or something saying that, but really, it holds a lot of truth. I'm not saying that you should strum a banjo on your roof naked in plain daylight. I mean, you should show some restraint. But, I mean, you should find who you are and do not be afraid of what other people think. You do not need to fit the mold. You need to let the mold fit you. People will like you for who you are, and if they don't, then you should not want to be friends with them anyways. The right people are going to like you for the right reasons, and things work out so much better when you're genuine and honest about who you are with yourself and with other people. Relationships are important. The relationships that you form with other human beings are the second most important thing in life, behind your relationship with God. I believe in love and the power of love. Love each and every person that you come into contact with, and that love will spread like wildfire across this nation and the world. There's nothing that can stop the power of love. And if all of us come together in love, we can do some really special things. I'm not saying that you need to be friends with every person that you come into contact with. That is simply unfeasible. Also, I have found that it is better to have deep and true friendships with a few people than to have shallow, non-committal friendships with many people. It is important to get to know as many people as you can, but do it in a true and compassionate manner so that you can have meaningful friendships. The other kind of relationships that you might thought about that I was referring to are also important. First piece of advice, asking me for advice is probably not a great call, as I've gotten broken up with 3 times during my high school career. I like to joke with my friend Parker that the first girl that doesn't break up with me will be the woman that I marry. Maybe my problem is that I listen to too much Taylor Swift, and we all know how her relationship track record has worked out. Still, I like my girl T Swift and her outlook on things, so maybe her and I are right, and we're just waiting for everyone else to catch up. Can't conform to society, right? Just hopefully I won't be saying that when I'm 40, living in some rundown apartment in Sharpsburg, sopping the teardrops on my guitar. I highly recommend listening to Matt Carney about all life matters, because he seems to have it all right. His music is incredible, and he's married. As I said, asking me for advice on such matters may not be a great idea, but learning from failure is usually the way to get better. You take chances, you live and you learn, and you come out a better person in the end, 10 times out of 10. High school truly is about taking chances and learning while doing so. I see two big issues in the logic of many teenagers. The first mistake we make is being afraid to fail. Sure, failure can be embarrassing, but there's nothing worse than not taking chances. We limit ourselves by thinking that we're incompetent to do certain things. We think that we aren't pretty enough, aren't smart enough, aren't socially competent enough to do certain things. But I'm here to tell you today that you are pretty enough, smart enough, are socially competent enough to do anything you set your mind to. If you can dream it, you can do it. Walt Disney's words have immense power and hold so much truth. Walt Disney was a dreamer, and among his dreams was to build an amusement park that other little dreamers could visit to fulfill their magical dreams. And let me tell you, as a little dreamer myself, Walt Disney's dream came true, and that amusement park has led to millions of magical memories for people of all ages. Walt Disney could have conceded to the people that told him he couldn't do it, that something like Walt Disney World could never actually be built, but he didn't care what the others said. If you can dream it, you can do it. All of us have the capability to discover our dreams, and when the time comes, to fulfill those dreams, just like Walt Disney did. We just need to realize that failure may, and most likely will, come along the way, but that cannot stop us. As Imagine Dragons say, the path to heaven runs through miles of clouded hell. God will put up brick walls to test our endurance along the way, but if we conquer, defeat, and keep working towards our dreams, no brick walls will stand at the end. The other big issue that I see in our lives is that we plan too much and think that everything has to be a certain way. I see a lot of people who think that they need to have everything together when they are 16, 17 years old. People think that they need to know exactly where they want to go to college, what they want to study, and their future occupation. I'm going to a college that is a ticket to grad school, totally unsure of what I want to study, and do not have much of an idea of what I want to do for a career. But that is just the way that it should be. High school and college are a time to grow and learn, create a depth of knowledge, and to discover your passions. You don't need to know what you want to do with your life when you're in high school, not when you're in college, and not even when you're 40 years old. Sure, you may end up in a rundown apartment in Sharpsburg listening to Taylor Swift, but if that gets you eventually to where you want to be, then do that by all means. We all make mistakes. It is a cliche, but how we respond to failure is what will dictate how successful we can be in this life. Do you ever look in the mirror and feel disappointed in what you see? I know that I have. And when I do this, I know that there are two options for me. I can look at that man and think that he is all I can ever be, so I might as well get used to him. Or I can look at that person as a representative of my past, of both the good and the bad, and recognize that the mirror cannot and will not dictate the man that I can become. We oftentimes let our past mistakes dictate our future. Sometimes it is hard to not get caught up in our past, but when we are able to carry on the good things of our past and dismiss the bad while learning from our experiences, we are able to become the people we were made to be. As I'm sure a lot of you know or sense from what I've said in this stage, I am a religious person. I'm a devout Roman Catholic, and it would be hard for me to get this stage without talking a bit about faith. I believe that it is important to have faith. I know that a lot of you out there are believers, and sometimes it can be hard for people of faith in a secular community. All I can say is to keep the faith, love everyone, even those who might question your beliefs, and you will be rewarded in the end. My faith has gotten me through many things in my life, and I challenge you all, no matter what your religious background is, to find something to believe in. Believing in something is the key to a purpose-driven life. One thing that all of us can believe in is helping our fellow man. Sometimes it can feel like we are all competing against each other, and the only way to bring yourself up is by putting others down. However, nothing good comes from this sort of activity. I like to think that we are all in this together, through the good times and the bad, working together to reach a common goal. We should all strive to work together to leave this world a better place than when we found it. This requires us to help each other out, be selfless, and be truly men and women for others. Just a few more cliches here, don't worry. We can oftentimes get caught up in what is going on around us and forget who we really are. We see that what other people are doing is cool, and think that doing what they are doing will make us popular, and therefore bring us happiness. If you think that by doing things because it is the cool thing to do will bring you happiness, then go for it. I'm willing to say that you will be unhappy as a result, though. And at some point, you will come home and do some soul searching. I can say this because I've had these experiences. Way too often, I've ignored my conscience, what I know I should or should not be doing, to go out and do things that society has deemed as cool. Every single time, there have been consequences. Listening to your conscience can be tough, and you can get good at ignoring it. But if you're able to listen to your heart and do the things you're supposed to do, you will be rewarded. The other part of this is to always speak from your heart and be genuine. Being phony does no one any good, and it is critical for us to be honest with ourselves and with others. This will make us better and society as a whole better. Finally, if there's one thing that I want you to take from my stage today, it would be to be fearless. There's also a T Swift album called Fearless that you should probably listen to as well. Anyways, I believe that fear is the only thing that holds us back from reaching our full potential. Worry, fear, doubt, and anxiety creep into your mind and cause havoc, holding you captive. I struggle with this every day, but slowly, I've gotten better at fighting these feelings, and I've been able to live a much freer life as a result. As Taylor Swift sings, "Don't you worry your pretty little mind, people throw rocks at things that shine." She is right. And there will always be people that try to bring you down, but don't let that bother you. Be fearless, and things will work out. Do not be afraid to walk through the valley of the shadow of death, for your shepherd is always with you. Remember this always. Finally, for real this time, just remember the incredible opportunity that you have here. The opportunity to get an education, to live a purposeful life. See the good in everything. Live like there is no tomorrow. Love like you're on borrowed time. And know that without fear, your potential is limitless. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.
Oh yeah. Lead our hands.